Thank you very much for allowing me the privilege to be here. I appreciate it a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I can't see a single damn one of you, even slightly. Holy shit, that's bright. Not a problem. With the permission of those involved, I was wondering if it would be okay if I could make a request that we have especially those between about the age of 25 and below come up to the front real quick. And as you're doing this, continue to listen. It's okay. Don't freak yourself out. This isn't a massive big deal. And feel free to get as close as you'd like, so long as that is all right with the organizers. And the reason I'm doing this is because what we are talking about is not easy. Okay? It's not simple. It's a lot of the reason I like to think of why shit hasn't changed. Because it was built that way. It's meant to be this hard, right? When you're talking about an entire empire spanning multiple different countries, raping lands of multiple different resources in order to push an agenda that allows them to continue to make money, because that's what this is. It's what the police are. They are the vanguard for capital, essentially. When you're talking about that, and you're asking, why is this happening? You're asking a pretty fucking old question. It's a question that you could maybe even date back, maybe earlier, I don't know, but all the way back to the Roman period. Suffice it to say, what you're asking, really, whether you know it or not, is what's white supremacy? So, what is it? Anybody want to try shouting it out real quick? Raise a hand. Especially the youth. Any of the youngins? Anybody I can see? No? Sure. Okay. Having a fuck ton of privilege and not even realizing it. Okay. It's a good start. It's a great start. Does anybody know this formation right here, half circle, raised platform, speaker, is called? Okay. So it's an arena, right? What is an arena? So an arena is a way that Romans used to arrange people in order to put on a show and or express something. Why am I mentioning this? Because that seems really fucking tangential. Well, it's because this is how we do things, folks. It's in everything. The way we address a crowd, the way that you exchange money, the way you buy things, the way you work. Everything you do is created from a long line of imperialized systems that have evolved into the viral load that we call whiteness today. Viral load, that's an interesting choice of, phrasing. Why viral load? Micah, are you trying to capitalize on the plague that is literally in the midst of all this threatening to fucking ruin civilization? No! It's because how a virus works is it gets inside of the cells of a body and makes the cell. The virus doesn't do the work. The cell does it. Makes the cell make more of the virus. If I need to explain which of us is the cell and which of us is the virus, I would highly suggest you meditate a little more on why the fuck you're here. No offense. The only reason I say no offense is because this is a hundreds of year old conspiracy, whether intentional or not, though at some points it definitely was. Over time, by breeding a culture that evolved, became popular, became powerful, allowed people to murder others, to take shit from other countries that had different morals than them and were not as cruel as that opposing and oppressive country. Through that system, that is why we are here today, okay? And so when I say it's no offense, it's because, believe me, you are not dumb by accident. You don't not know this accidentally. They will not teach you this shit. In fact, to my knowledge, at least as far as my reading goes, and I'm one of them reading types, we murder people that talk about this shit. That's what we do, okay? It's for a very specific reason. It's because the fact of the matter is, without all of you doing all of the shit, like the actual work, producing all of the products, murdering all of the people that actually have more in common with you than you even recognize. And yet, because of a culture bred into you by your parents, bred into them by their parents, bred into them by their parents, you are for some reason so fucking angry at them that you feel need to hang them like a Christmas ornament from a tree, that you don't even know where that comes from. If I were to ask somebody doing these things, why do you do it? All they could respond with is because I hate them. And if you ask them, why do you hate them? They give you a bunch of bullshit reasons. There's this new fancy term. Nazis love inventing new words for Nazi because everybody knows what a Nazi is. And again, like I said, the system is meant to confuse you, right? So now what they're doing is they're calling themselves ethno-nationalists. Okay, so great, fine. These ethno-nationalists, all right, would have you believe via a series of trumped up ideals, studies, and different, what would you even call that? Academic works, sure, if you can even fucking preface it as such, okay? They utilize this as an evidence, a justification for the continuance of all this. Now, why the fuck am I explaining this all to you? Because it all seems like a rant at first, until you realize we're doing it right now, guys. What is an ally? An ally's not good enough. I'll tell you that right now. Who knows what the word conspiracy means? I saw you. What's up? No? It's cool? No, okay. So, a conspiracy is when more than one person gets together, has a plan, and executes it. Done. Full stop. That's all it is. Very simple, right? Weird. We only tend to use it when we talk about the Illuminati or the rich. In reality, most of us conspire with one another to live in a better world practically every day. What we need is not more of this ally shit. Ally is a term you use to refer to a foreign country. The word in and of itself separating you from the other person, stating that they are the foreigner, the different, the wrong one, the mistake, the person that is invading yours. By definition, the word in and of itself is you essentially saying that the other person does not belong here. No. What we need, what I demand, without any question, are co-conspirators. Co-conspirators in a plot to upheave hundreds of years of bullshit that was ingrained in us by businesses that didn't give a fuck about us but had a plan to make sure that they could fucking reap the reward and benefit of the labor of every single individual, giving nothing in return, destroying the land, claiming it as theirs, lying about it for 400 years to the point where people forget that it's a lie, so that then 400 years later, a bunch of people that aren't even the ones that did all this shit to themselves to begin with have to unbury the truth and give it back to the people that have been destroying their lives in the first place. That is cockamamie bullshit on a level that I cannot even fucking express with words, and I'm a poet. It's what I do for a fucking living. I do not say this lightly. When I tell you that what you need to do is co-conspire, it sounds like a word. We hear a lot of words nowadays. We hear a lot of things like solidarity. And what's hard, especially being younger, and this is a lot of why I bring the youth to the front, because I'm just not going to lie to you. My generation already fucked, and I'm only 23. We already fucked it up. Sorry. We're going to try. We're going to try to help you. But I'm not going to lie to you. It's up to you. It really is. It's up to you. And I don't hear a lot of people my age and higher giving you any semblance of actual direction. And fuck me, as a special needs student that grew up being raised mainly by people that didn't look like me, having them show me the history, I found it really fucking useful to have somebody tell me in very real, practical terms what the fuck they were talking about. So, that's what we're gonna do. Now, as co-conspirators in an attempt and a plot to upheave white supremacy as the main institution of the country you might live in, you might wonder to yourself, what the fuck does that look like? Sure. So, when you go home, or whatever you do with your time. You need to gather everybody you know and ask a very simple question. What do you need? What do you need? What you need, is it food? Do you have food insecurity? Is that a problem? Is it safety? Do you feel unsafe in your home? If so, why? You need to ask critical, tangible, materialistic questions that have very tangible answers. This will allow you to come up with tangible results. Let me give you an example. North Minneapolis, right now, has not had a cop, firefighter, or paramedic in it for, I want to say, what? Shit, it's so bright I can't even see Mike to confirm. I want to say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, okay? They're fine. They're doing just fucking fine. You want to know why? It's really simple. No, and it is. Like, kids, here's the thing. There's a bunch of people in this world that are going to tell you that you have to fucking listen to some adult for 4 years, get a piece of paper, get more debt, get another piece of paper. And don't get me wrong, like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, this isn't the only pathway to knowledge. There are a bunch of people that are going to tell you that the only way for you to get anything done is to get a license to get shit done. You don't need a license. There are books that you can get for almost nothing at dime store discount, basically bargain bin bookshops that will teach you everything from medicine to building a house. And if you all collectively can get together, secure the resources to do those things, plan how to execute that, and then execute it succinctly while maintaining a democratic process through which you all make decisions as a group, then what the fuck do you need the cops for? Because I'm going to tell it to you like this. Right now in North Minneapolis, you will not get into that fucking neighborhood without being greeted by men with rifles. Do not get me wrong. These are not strangers. These are young men that grew up in the community, got together, grabbed some radios, whatever firearms they could, made sure that they knew everybody by name, which they do, by the way. They actually know their neighbors. That tends to help. And they locked that fucker down. Locked it down. Took them about, I want to say, half a week. And they're still learning today. Right now, as we are speaking, in such a privileged position, they are in the midst of a war for their lives where currently they are still learning through the process how to do it better. They have people working in gardens, growing food, preparing for the fact that they're seeing food shortage as a problem because it turns out that when you don't want to play by the fucking rules, the government doesn't need to shoot you. They'll starve you out. It's really quite simple. Ask almost every other culture that's been here. And as white people, you have basically one responsibility. It's very simple. It's not super fucking complicated. Provide the means and the resources. Shut the fuck up, listen, and do the labor. It's really simple. It ain't hard. I mean, it is hard. It's physically difficult and demanding, but it can be done. It can be done, and it must be done. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say this last bit, and I'm going to fucking leave my piece, because quite frankly, the sound of my voice irritates me alone. So I actually, and I meant to do this in the beginning, but I got real passionate. I actually need to give respect and credit where credit is due. I would like to thank Elo, Anayel, Bo. I would like to thank Magic and Beauty. By the way, none of these people look like me. But all of them helped to raise me. All of them taught me the shit I know today. More than that, they taught me how to set tables, how to pass salt and pepper, to say hi and hello to people when you greet them. As a special needs student, they provided me with a resource that almost nobody else was because they saw something in me and were willing to reach out. And that's the secret to this shit. The secret to this shit is understanding that these people are fucking people. You think you know that. We think we know that, right? Like we're really convinced that we've moved on, that it's over, or I mean, like, yeah, it's okay, so police brutality is a problem, and la-da, but let me ask you something. When you started coming to these, did you come out for police brutality and shit? Or did you come out because your neighbors were in trouble and you loved them? I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people came out for the first, whether you know it or not. I'm already here, and it's okay. I get it. We're very fragile. I've noticed that about my people. We have a nasty habit of breaking very fucking easily, astonishingly so. But no, you didn't. You didn't fucking come here because you saw yourself in another person. A lot of you fucking came here because you were trying to do the right thing, which implies argument, which implies options. There is no option. There's nothing to debate about here. The conversation never even started. And if you think it did, you're missing out on the history of how this shit started in the first place. There was no consent. There was no real debate and discussion between different people. Nobody fucking asked the people that we were ruining lives and culture and all of the years of history that will quite frankly, possibly never be gotten back. No one asked them how they felt. And we still fucking don't today. We do, but in that cheap way, the way that you ask in an interview, like you're checking something off on a list to make sure that you don't sound like an asshole. Well, I'm gonna give you a hint. You're probably an asshole. I am, you are. That's just kind of how this shit works. And like I said, it's not necessarily your fault, but it's your problem. And I'd suggest being a part of the solution. If anybody would like to talk more in private, especially the youth, or not in private, but whatever, you know what I mean. If anybody wants to discuss these ideas more and get a more detailed idea of what I'm talking about, please come by. I swear I'm not as angry as I sound. Thank you.